All right, we're getting the players in here. Things are getting ready to start, guys. I'm pumped. I hope you're pumped. This will be great. Let's go. Let's go. Switching over. Alpha Navigator's Cup here, and we've got a fun one for you guys to be able to spectate and watch for our first one here. So things are starting out, and we're going back to the classic. So we've got our trees here because this is known as Secluded Grove, I think. Nope, Broken Hinterlands. I'm still learning the names, guys. Broken Hinterlands. And we've got kind of the normal opening that we're seeing from our Infernal players, kind of. Oh, the double wall off here. So look at this. Oh my gosh, the scout goes, I can't get in. So this is cool. Not gonna even worry about any harassment. Something that I didn't even know you could do on this map with this double wall. But it's all part of the plan because your goal is to break these trees down and be able to get out on the map this way. You also can be able to start creeping out on the map with your first couple of units, but we're seeing a big buildup of resources over here for our Vanguard player. Going to be dropping down an expansion early on. That's kind of the goal, especially when you go, okay, I do not see anything going on. How am I going to respond to it? Put my dog in a good position for it. One interesting thing to note, besides these destructible trees that can be destroyed from workers, it can be destroyed from specific units, is that there are watchtowers in here, these vision camps. I like to call them watchtowers, Zelnog watchtowers for my StarCraft days, but you know, that is one of the things that they get to be able to do. There are other creep camps on here. Why are they important? Some of them end up healing you. If you kill this, it'll have a zone that you get to be able to heal units at. Some of them, of course, also drop down resources. We've got resource camps here. Kill them. The more you kill them, the more that spawn up, the harder it is for you to kill them later on in the game. There's, of course, ones that are like right by your base. And we are going to be seeing this nice shroud stone, the tower, come up because the goal is to be able to creep up and kill that. We're going to start seeing the trees get destroyed, and that's the next plan here. Expansion's coming down, and we will see kind of a nice little wall off start to take place here as our Vanguard player starts to really establish their natural, and we are going to be seeing our Infernal players get their natural up. So both players just kind of in agreement. Hey, we're just going to be playing it nice and safe here. Nothing too crazy. The dog is still trying to get up there and see. And look at this. Ooh, is he going to be able to get the snipe? He could get the snipe off this resource if he really gets it. It's going to be close. Oh my gosh, he did not get it. He almost did. So, well, he could have. I don't know. It's hard to say. But the fact that it died and was infested by the gaunts, we know that, of course, you know, allows our player to be able to, Infernal players start creeping out a lot more on the map. And immediately our Vanguard player has a response. Let's start clearing the trees for myself and get set up over here. The one fun thing about this map, if you're an Infernal player, is these speed camps are great for getting a lot of fiends out on the map. So you see this kind of dance, this kiting. Let's pull them back. It's got a damage over time. You'll see their kind of health slowly deplete, and that we hit the slow right there from that plant. Any units in it immediately start slowing down. Now we got our big tank, and Doggo's going to come get a little scout, see what's going on. But yeah, big push of units going to start coming out here. There's the speed. And so that indicator there of this speed camp being taken does show up for players if they're looking on the minimap. You notice that it's gone now, right? Because otherwise, you can still see these indicators on the map that that's still there. All right, we're going to start seeing the Lancers coming out, which is good. We've, of course, already got our sentry posts that you're going to want to throw some units because this is already a big push coming out here. Just kind of checking things out. It is really, really hard to push into a secluded, secured location like this when you say, okay, this Vanguard is really turtled in there. It's not going to be easy to pop this base open. So that just kind of gives the indication. Let's continue our creeping, go out, take control of the entire map right now. And if you're really trying to bust in and get some information about what your opponent's going to be doing, it's going to be, okay, how do I get into their base next? And that's going to be kind of airplay here. But neither player kind of really opting for that. They're just sort of in this kind of build up, power up phase here. We're going to start seeing them really get their resources going. You kind of see additional production coming out from our Infernal player as they just continue to take over the map here. On the meantime, we're now getting that strong force that can start moving out on the map. I'm very curious because we do have a couple of bobs with this army. Are we going to start seeing some forward positioning here? Or was it just kind of a little misclick here? Because sometimes you could be able to put some sentry posts up and kind of go fast like that, but we'll sneak out, get its own resource camp here. And both players just kind of building up. But you're going to be kind of having to pay close attention to the minimap here because we're going to see a lot more Infernal movement out on the map as they're kind of moving and positioning and creeping. And at this point, they've gotten most of the creep, right? They've gotten the vision camps. They've got as much information. And now here's the play. If you guys are watching my streams, you're watching my YouTube stuff, you know that I am all about the Infernal drops here. And look at this anti-timing here, getting to scout this here. Now, immediately going to be responding and reacting to this. We'll probably see a lot of these forces get pulled and repositioned. Ooh. Boom, big boost coming out here. He's going to overcharge all those bobs and immediately starts taking them out. And bam, Lancers are coming in here. We did get to see at least one Fiend. This is kind of the go-to Infernal play that we're seeing, but it will get cleaned up pretty quickly here. Does he get out? Oh, he does. Look at that, 3 health left. And because Lancers only get to attack ground units, we don't have to worry. There's no Exos out, right? Those Marine-like forces to be able to snipe this out of the sky. If there was just one, game over. That thing would have been taken out. But great reaction from our Vanguard player. Like anti-timing there, being able to scout it. Like if that was not the time that our Vanguard player was taking their third, that could have done a lot more damage there. That might not have been as quick of a reaction there. But ready to go, pops that overcharge, able to kind of respond and deal with it. And now it's just kind of sit back, cool. I don't have to worry. You invested a lot into that. Didn't get much done. The whole goal is to kind of, you know, delay your opponent, weaken their economy a little bit as you kind of get ready for the next stages here. But continuing to be able to take the resources camp and creeping out as much as possible. Like Infernals is very active. You could play passively, but, you know, you're a swarm type race where when your production is under effect, you're making multiple units at once. They're popping out. So you have to kind of be aware of those cycling of units. Very similar to Zerg if you're thinking of StarCraft with the larva inject, except you don't have to inject anything. It's just kind of being able to produce there. So now, third base is taken from both players. Yeah, it's interesting about the health camps, right? So like the health camp is one of those like, it's decent as one to take, but when I'm playing on this map particular, I do not try to go for this health camp as often unless I am kind of more active on this side of the map. As of right now, he's got to be more active taking out the resource camps and the speed camps, so it makes sense based on his location here. But big push coming out from our Vanguard. Just kind of, we've got the Exos added in here. He's going to start to push up a little bit, try to crack open the door. He's been kind of blocked out, not having really information on the high ground, not really sure what's going on. In the meantime, you can see a little bit of sprinkling of our Infernal player on the right-hand side trying to kind of position himself. And oh, here we go. Already got some siege coming out here. Hellborns, right? These are kind of like the Atlas units of the Infernals. Not as powerful as the Atlas, in my opinion, but still, you know, they're pretty strong. This is what I really like to see. Magmadon's getting added in here. The new working of them has this slam ability where they just kind of start smashing the ground and stunning enemy units nearby. This fighting force here is strong, but not as strong as this Vanguard force that's coming out here. He's got to be careful. We're starting to see kind of a very, very strong push with the Gaunts. Gaunts are our danger units, right? Those keep producing more and more Fiends. But there's the slam. Look at that coming down here, stunning these units immediately. And he's got to make sure he is targeting down. But you'll see, as soon as the Magmadon falls, this fragile force is going to get pounced on, and Exos sprinting their way forward and just immediately sniping Gaunt after Gaunt. That's the downside to playing as Infernal with going such a heavy Gaunt force like this. It just gets picked apart. So more Magmadons coming out there will make a big difference here, but still some Exos left alive. And nice little snipes here with the Hellborn can kind of reposition and fall back. It's going to be a lot of this back and forth from players just kind of posturing and repositioning over here, trying to see where they can get some damage done. That we did see that. Okay, yep, there was. I was like, I thought we saw a little sensor tower come in, get that information, get the scouting off here. Both players just going to kind of reposition, get themselves in a good spot. This might even be a good time for our players to start considering taking those health camps here, kind of heal up. Of course, The nice thing about Vanguard is they don't have to worry so much about those health stations because we've got the medtechs here, as well as being able to heal off of these buildings. So we start to throw in units in the sentry post, they can start healing up more as well. So kind of really back to full health, and the longer these units stay alive, the more they're going to power up, the more damage that they're going to do. So it's going to be really interesting. Already seeing some veteran exos coming out here. So this is going to be a very heavy like bio. It's not the same punching power that the bio units have in like StarCraft, but still very scary against. Oh, there we go. Here's our drop coming out. Immediately going to start stunning things with our Magmadon here. Going to delay this expansion, but it does get cleaned up pretty quickly there. Again, that's just kind of that anti-timing. Losing that drop, the Doombringer there, it's annoying, right? You go as an Infernal player, like that's my main source of delaying and dealing damage. One thing that you have to be careful about is seeing this army at like a Vanguard army with that little drop. You go, okay, it's only bio type units here. What is going to be the transition out of this? Are we going to start seeing Atlases? Are we going to start seeing Hornets? You know, what do I need to be worried about and scared of? But look at this positioning here. Vision camp is up, and we see, oh, the imp gets a glimpse of it. And now we start seeing some shells coming down from those Hellborns. You see that splash damage kind of just start splashing for units behind it there. And Magmadon comes from the flank. Great positioning here, and all these units start to get stunned up. But where is the kind of front line with it? It's only Magmadons. We will start to see a sprint up, trying to reposition here. And look at that. Some of his units do be able to start escaping through the trees. Magmadons are doing their best to try to catch it, but still raining fire from above with the Hellborns. He's going to get in a great position here, and you'll see just splash damage splashing all across here. Oh, this Hellborn out of position. Where'd you come from? But great job there. Look at so many Gaunts coming across here. And where's the big power up? We saw the expansion get taken to take a fourth, but how's he going to utilize this? Where is his input for all of these minerals that he's getting, all of this money he's got? How is he going to be able to survive this huge onslaught of infernal beasts coming across here? Gaunt's coming in, and all right, med station healing up. Let's go. Going to try to reposition. So this is this cool part about this map, right? It's going to be spread across, and if you're spending most of your time fighting over here on the right hand side, that leaves your left hand side a little bit vulnerable. If that Doombringer was still alive, he could be doing drop play at the same time as doing this push. It's forcing opponents to be able to kind of respond to multitasking is going to be a really key thing in these stages when we get to these huge big maps like this. But neither player really has that ability to crack each other open and bust each other up at this point. They're, you know, trading blows back and forth here, and oh, a couple of Gaunts coming in, just a little bit of miss rally. We see, yep, a couple more miss rallies over here, but that's okay. The big positioning is right here on this high ground here. He's going to start spreading himself out and basically locking down, stealing all these resources camps here, and being in a good position in case his opponent moves across the map here. But Vanguard player not going to give up all the resources. We'll take that over. We start to see the Vulcans added in, so that's our big position here. Not going into the Atlas yet, not going to the Hornets. We'll just kind of go for the Vulcans. They do have a little bit of extra damage here. There, oh, now some Hornets getting added in. Got to be careful though, because there are a lot of Gaunts here, and bam, Magmadon jumps right on there, stunning them off. We see a lot of Hellborns coming in here, reinforcements coming out here, but it's still a lot. Look at so many Fiends are getting produced here. He's got to be careful though. The Gaunts are not very hardy. We've talked about this before. They do get shredded pretty easily here, so it's going to have a front line, and he's going to be relying heavily on those Fiends to be that front line. But all this is allowing his units to start to kind of level up a little bit more. Veteran status here, and again, these Hellborns are awesome for dealing that splash damage to units behind. You see, it's almost like a shotgun blast when they start hitting units. Every little bit counts here, and any bit that the Gaunts do is just added bonus, those dot damage that they get to do, as well as turning them into Fiends. But, you know, there's the big guns. The Atlas, got to be careful, though, pushing him out here like this. He needs to have that front line to kind of keep them safe, but that's the difference between the Atlas and our Hellborns here. Atlas has this kind of cone, the floor is lava that you have to be worried about, while of course our Hellborns are shotgun blasted. Oh, that's a good blast right there. Magmadon's even jumping on top of it here, but more Atlas getting added in. Can he keep holding on? They do have that defender's advantage, being able to reinforce much more quickly here. Hornets getting added in. If the Gaunts start to get taken apart, look at this, immediately queuing things up, and we'll start picking them apart. And, oh, the Atlas is going to be falling here. There are going to be Fiends right on top of it, as well as Hellborns. The last Atlas does fall here, and things are starting to crumble at this 4th base location. More Gaunts moving their way across, and it's looking really tough for our Vanguard player. He's trying to position himself in a good spot. You see him got that, of course, med tech going, trying to heal things up, but GG is called, and it is all over. Infernals does end up taking the game there. Whew, what a game. That was good. I missed this map. We played it a lot on the ladder early on, so it was cool to be able to sit there and go back to it and see, these high-level players playing such a back-and-forth game initially, but you guys really got to see the power of the Infernal being able to creep and get out on the map. Our Vanguard player sitting there being very defensive, did a little bit of push up here, did a little push up there, but not really able to get in there and, get too much done. Didn't have any Hornets to get out there and do some harassments. Wasn't able to do any Atlas drops. So really just kind of poking and prodding, but not really able to deal any serious economic damage from either player there, right? The Doombringer drops didn't really get much done. So it was a lot of that kind of positioning. Where can we fight in those big battles? And kind of the Magmadons coming in, getting those slam flanks really made a difference there. So that's the real difference when you see these kind of, Vanguard versus Infernal stuff. There's going to be very specific units that make a difference in these fights. So I had a blast being able to cast this one. Can't wait to see what other awesome games that we've got planned here. So this is, of course, the Alpha Navigators Cup number 8. There's been 8 other ones of these. There, of course, got EU ones as well as NA ones. We're doing the NA one here tonight. Going to be kind of showcasing a little bit of what Stormgate has in store for you guys, especially from players that are very skilled right now. So I'm really excited to be able to kind of get in and get you guys some more games here.